Today I'm starting a brand new crop zucchini. Growing zucchini in upright buckets is pretty outdated, everyone, because zucchini roots naturally spread outward and feed across a wide horizontal area. So this time, I'm changing the setup. Instead of keeping the bucket upright, I'm turning plastic on its side and cutting an open along the body to turn it into a horizontal planter. It's an inexpensive approach, and it also gives the plant more room to develop to its full potential. You'll begin by germinating the zucchini seeds inside a damp towel. 3 days have passed, so let's take a look at how the seeds are doing. Every seed has cracked open successfully and looks healthy. You can already see the young sprouts beginning to emerge. Now I'm transferring the germinated seeds into starter cups. I'll place 1 seed in each cup, then cover it lightly with a thin layer of soil. For the horizontal planter, I'm repurposing an old paint bucket. The process is actually very simple. I cut a large rectangular opening along the side of the bucket to create the planting area. On the opposite side, which will become the bottom once the bucket is laid horizontally, I make several additional drainage holes. These holes are important because they help prevent water from collecting inside the container. Make sure the lid is secured tightly on the end of the bucket. There's one small problem with laying this kind of bucket on its side. The bottom of the bucket is narrower than the rim, so the container naturally sits at an angle and can easily rock or roll back and forth. To fix that, I attach a wooden bar underneath the lower end of the planter with screws. The wooden support fills the height difference and keeps the container level. Once it's secured, the planter stays balanced and won't roll around when I start filling it with soil. For the growing medium, I prepare a mixture of 80% loam soil and 20% rice husks. Now the entire row of horizontal planters is ready. I line them up neatly so everything is prepared for the zucchini seedling. Before adding the soil, I take a few old bricks and break them into smaller pieces. These crushed brick pieces go along the bottom of each planter. This layer works as a buffer between the soil and the drainage holes. It helps keep the soil from becoming compacted and blocking the openings underneath. That means the zucchini's wide-spreading root system can stay properly aerated while reducing the concern of root rot caused by poor drainage. Next, I add the base fertilizers underneath and cover it with soil. I plant 1 zucchini seedling directly in the center of each horizontal planter. Positioning the plant in the middle allows the roots to spread and feed evenly in every direction, helping the entire plant develop in a more balanced way. Now it's time for an upgraded slow-release watering system. I'm using a clear plastic bottle to create the slow drip core. First, I cut off the bottom of the bottle, so it'll be easier to refill later. For the bottle cap, I drill a screw directly into it. By gently tightening or loosening that screw, I can adjust how quickly the water comes out. It gives me much better control over the flow rate. And because the bottle is transparent, I can easily keep an eye on the remaining water level. Next, I insert a stake in each planter. Can you guess what I'm going to use it for? Here's the answer. This setup is something just about anyone can make. It doesn't cost much, but it works extremely well. After some time has passed, take a look at the zucchini now. The plants are growing vigorously. Their main stems have become thick and strong, and the first flowers are beginning to appear. To protect the zucchini plants during the flowering stage, I add a few drops of methylene blue to the slow-release watering bottles. This is the method I use to help sanitize the soil and prevent fungal root rot while keeping the system safe. It also serves another purpose. It helps stop algae from growing inside the bottle and blocking the watering valve. So one simple step takes care of 2 potential problems at once. After plenty of careful tending, male and female zucchini flowers are now appearing all along the leaf axils. Let me show you the difference. A female flower has a tiny miniature zucchini directly underneath the flower, A male flower, on the other hand, grows on a long, straight stem and has only the stamen inside. With this flower's opening, I'm going to have plenty of hand pollinating to do over the next few days. Now I prepare another feeding mixture. I put tomatoes, earthworm castings liquid, and water into blender and blend everything until completely smooth. After blending, pour the mixture through a sieve to remove all of the solid residue. Then I take the concentrated liquid, dilute it with clean water, and pour it into the slow, drip watering core. With the plant receiving enough potassium and amino acids through this mixture, fruit setting is fully supported. Down near the base of the plants, the zucchini fruits have already started getting larger. Higher up, new flowers and buds continue appearing from the leaf axils without stopping. If you're growing this type of squash for the first time, there's something important to remember. Zucchini fruits grow incredibly fast. You can practically see the difference in their size from one day to the next. When the fruits reach about 20 to 25 centimeters long, that's the ideal stage for harvesting. Picking zucchini at this size means the fruit is still young. The skin stays smooth and glossy. The flesh inside remains dense, and the flavor is wonderfully sweet. With zucchini, you really shouldn't get greedy. It's easy to get excited when you see how quickly the fruits are growing and decide to leave them on the plant longer. But if you let them become too large, they'll age quickly. Flesh can become spongy, and that delicious flavor starts disappearing. Harvesting them at this stage gives you zucchini that are sweet, crisp, and tender. It also allows the plant to save enough energy to keep feeding all of the male and female flowers that are still developing farther up the plant. That brings my zucchini growing journey to an end. Everyone, I'll see you again in the next video. How much are you paying for organic cucumbers at the supermarket? Today, I'm going to show you how I turned a few recycled buckets into a highly productive cucumber growing setup. A damp towel is where these cucumber seeds will begin. Let's wake them up. I spread the seeds evenly across the damp towel, fold it neatly, then place everything inside a cup and cover the top with plastic wrap. Now I'll leave the seeds there to germinate for 3 days. I'll see you again in 72 hours. Take a look at those clean white roots reaching outward. Every cucumber seed has developed a healthy root, and some of them are already pushing right through the towel. Now I'm going to prepare another old paint bucket. I drill several holes through both the sides and the bottom of the bucket. Then I mark a circle on the side that matches the diameter of a clear plastic bottle. Because the plastic is very thick, I use a heated soldering iron to cut out the circular opening. Next, I take the clear plastic bottle and drill 4 small round holes into it. I slide the bottle through the opening I made in the side of the paint bucket. Then I cut an old shirt in several narrow strips of fabric and thread those strips through the small holes in the bottle. These strips work like tiny straws or wicks. They draw water and nutrients away from the central bottle and carry them directly in the surround soil where the plants can use them. It's a simple system, but it's extremely efficient and helps make sure the cucumbers always have access to moisture. After filling the buckets with soil, I stretch support strings upward from the bottom so the cucumber vines will have something to climb. But now we have a small problem. The soil is full of ants. If I don't deal with them immediately, they can bring aphids with them and damage the cucumbers before the plants have a chance to really get established. But I'm not going to use toxic chemicals here. Instead, I place a piece of paper nearby and apply a few drops of ant repellent solution. The ants begin moving away on their own. Once they're gone, I can start planting the cucumber sprouts. I carefully remove the seed coats so the 2 cotyledons are exposed. To increase productivity, I plant 2 cucumber seedlings in each bucket. Next, I use diluted worm leachate. This is a very gentle liquid that the plants can absorb easily, and it helps encourage rapid root development while also supporting strong plant immunity. You pour the worm liquid into the nutrient core. From there, the moisture slowly moves through the fabric strips and spreads in the surround soil. The cucumber plants are already producing more branches and tendrils. They're growing strongly now, and there's no slowing them down. It's time to build a trellis around these cucumber containers so the vines have enough support as they become longer and heavier. The trellis is now finished. The growing tips of the cucumber vines are already getting close to the top. Whenever a vine starts heading in the wrong direction, I gently guide its tendrils back to the bamboo stakes. Doing this helps spread the vines evenly across the entire trellis so every leaf has a better chance to receive the sunlight it needs. Can you see those tiny baby cucumbers hiding inside the leaf axils? Cucumbers really are a fast-producing crop. I continue feeding the plants with worm water. It supplies important nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These nutrients help encourage faster branching while also supporting more flowers and a higher fruiting rate. Now the cucumber flowers are blooming everywhere, and they're attracting hard-working bees. The bees move continuously from one flower to another, helping ensure the cucumbers develop properly. At this point, though, the cucumber stems have grown far beyond the top of the trellis. So, I separate the stems and gently fold and redeck them, allowing the vines to continue crawling across the trellis instead of simply growing straight upward. To keep more of the plant's energy focused on producing larger cucumbers, you remove the smaller side branches that are grown from the main stems. Just look at all of these cucumbers hanging beneath the trellis. And the best part is that the harvest isn't finished. There are still plenty of yellow flowers all over the plants, which means another large round of cucumbers is still on the way. You don't need a huge garden to grow your own food. With only a few recycled paint buckets, you can produce fresh, crunchy, clean cucumbers right at home. There's nothing quite like eating something you grew yours. If I can grow them in these buckets, you can do it too. Start with what you have, right where you are, and watch your garden grow. There it is. There we go. Thank you for staying with me and watching all the way to the end.